Hello guys, we're going to see the results of running the Apothecary Farming strategy that I uploaded in my last video, featuring the Rogue Exiles for the class of Jubilee Farming and the Tormented Spirits for extra quant from the possessing mobs and the ones that get touched by these spirits. I did the 90 maps in two different sets, one in 40 maps and the other in 50 maps. And this is the loot that I got in the last 50 maps. As you can see, I filled almost 1.5 quad tabs. And yeah, this is all the stuff you're going to be checking later on in the video, all the details of these of all the stuff that I got in the 90 maps. And here I have the most notable items that I got in all the 90 maps. And starting from the divination cards, we got the two apothecaries that you already have seen in the intro of this video. We dropped two. I have to be as clear as possible, saying that you shouldn't be expecting two apothecaries in 90 maps. But in the other hand, I would say that you could expect one apothecary in less than 90 maps. But you know how this works, in the end it's all RNG, and we are always talking here about average rates. Then I got all of these clusters. These are separated by eye level. These are the 85, these are the 84, and this is the 83. The ones that are actually available are the ones here that I separated in the top. One of them is sells for 2 divines and the other for 1 divine, and the rest are around 50 chaos. There is one for over 100 chaos and the other ones are in the price range of 30, 40 or 50 chaos. We're going to be checking in detail later on in the video in the loot breakdown section. And then finally for the uniques, I got one of the Heiner memories for the Harvest Beasts. This sells for a little bit more of 5 divines. Avoid Born Key, this is over 3 divines. And this sells for 30 chaos, 15 chaos. And I got an oppressor that had all 3 sockets, white sockets. This is a master bite because the other elegant wrong shield that is unique with the 3 sockets is the squire. So yeah, F there. And I got an Aegis Aurora. This has a nice corruption and it's sold for 1.5 divines. So for the loot breakdown, I created this Excel file with all the stuff that we did get and considering the stuff that we can sell. So in the left section here I have all the stuff that I got. That is the most notable stuff that you can easily sell, and have divided them by categories. We have the currency here, the divination, the maps, and the other notables. And yeah, this is just to have a good idea of the stuff that composes the total loot. And here I have a section for the summary of all the stuff that we got. And as you can see, we got a total amount of 88 divines in total. I did separate here the loot from the 40 maps and then the 50, and this is the total for the 90 maps. So from this table, I created a pie chart to see the representation of each category. And as you can see, the first place is being taken by the currency. We got 86 divines from the 88 divines. And then the second place is the divination cards. This is all considering that we didn't get any apothecaries, and this is the loot in the scenario that we get unlucky and we don't get any apothecary. So then I have a second pie chart here that is considering an apothecary, and as you can see now the divinations actually take up the first place, representing a higher section compared to the currency. So down here we have the notable drops. As you can see, they make up for 7 divines, and we have already talked about them in a brief section. So let's continue with the cluster review section. This is pretty special because of the farming strategy that we are doing with the rogues shenanigans and the tormented spirits. So as you can see in the first glance, we got only 2 cluster chewies that are high valuable. So we got one for the 6 passives with flash effect, and that costs 2 divines, and one with 12 passives. This is a big cluster or large cluster. That's lightning damage. That's 1 divine. And the other ones, well, we have here one for that's over 100 divines, and all the rest are in a price range between 30 divines and 40 divines. And all the caster shields, as you can see, we have the total sum here, and they make up for almost 5 divines. And this is pretty good considering that the Rogue Sexton and the Gilded Scarab for the Torment Spirits and the map device for the extra rogues are very cheap. So this was all the revenue tab here, and now we're going to pass to the expenses section. And as you can see here, I have a table for all the stuff that you have to get in order to start doing this strategy, and I have scaled down all the costs by map. So as you can see here, we're buying 1 scarab for each map, and this is the price for one of each ones. This is already considering the bulk prices. So we are spending, for example, 34 divines for each winged scarab, the winged ambush scarab that we use for each map. And since we use only one, this is 34 chaos. Then we have some of the sextants and the delirium orb, and the cost of the map device to add some extra rogues. And we have a total of 189 chaos per map. So since we did run 90 maps, we have a total expenses of, we did invest 64, almost 64 divines in total to run them all. And I have here a pie chart with the highest costs. As you can see, the most expensive ones are the winged scarabs and the enraged strongbox. And finally, for the profit section, I have a tab here, and as you can see, it takes all of the results from the previous tabs, and we have the revenue that we said that we got back 88 divines, and we did invest almost 64 divines, and so that makes up a total profit of 24 divines. And this is again considering that we didn't get any apothecaries. In this case, we did got 2 apothecaries. Just like I said, that's not expected. But not considering apothecaries, it's important because we can get eventually unlucky, and we want to know if we are losing money if we don't get any apothecary, or we are actually getting some of the profit. And the results here is that each map takes me around 4 to 5 minutes. So I set 4.5 minutes, and we did run 90 maps. And this is the total amount of time running the maps. And finally, we have a results of a profit per hour with no apothecaries of 3.5 divines per hour. And for an endgame strategy, that's pretty bad, right? But this is again considering that we don't get any apothecaries, and we know that eventually we are going to drop one. And finally, I have a section here to calculate the profit per hour considering the apothecaries. And since I did drop 2 apothecaries in these 90 maps, the 3.5 divines profit per hour that we did calculate goes to 18 divines per hour. And yeah, that's a lot more, right? We did saw that the divination cards represents most of the loot from this strategy. And yeah, but then again, I did say that it's not something that you should be expecting, but in the other side you should be expecting at least one. So that brings the profit per hour from the 3.5 divines to almost 11 divines per hour. So yeah, this is a pretty different result, and this is from my standards pretty good. Think that if you do this for 10 hours, you're going to be making over a headhunter just in a little bit more than 10 hours. That's a bit crazy, right? One last thing that I want to mention is that I did a minor change in the strategy. Since I saw that I was getting a lot of maps back, I did remove the shaping of the valleys and all of the maps that connect this node with the tree, and I added these nodes to the blocking node, so we are getting more rogues, more expedites, and more strongboxes. Then the other change that I was considering to make was the beyond nodes here. I'm not particularly noting the effect of these nodes, to be honest, so I would consider to delete them or unspec them and add them elsewhere. I don't know where, actually. I don't know where else we could get for our strategy. Since we are rushing the boss, this isn't much value. We could add the missing item quantity node here, but yeah, all of the rest, I think that they could be a plus, but they aren't big game changers. And yeah, that's it for the video. I encourage you to try it if you haven't done that yet, and I assure you that you'll get a lot of currency because the strategy is pretty good. We have a base divination card strategy farming, and on top of that we have the rogue shenanigans with the tormented spirits for an extra spicy farming strategy. And yeah, hope you like the video series, and see you in the next video.